Hello, Cubs fans, and welcome to a brand new edition of Cubs on Tap. I am Ron Luce, joined by the one, the only, the man to say the famous words of juice on tap, loose on tap, juice on tap, and loose on tap. It's my boy Joey Ricotta on the microphone with me tonight. We are unfortunately talking about a loss, and we'll get to that in just a hot second. But before we do get there, Joey, my friend, how are you doing on this, what's today? Tuesday evening.
Well, before that, terrific introduction, I was about to just say, this sucks. The Cubs suck. Hit the button, end the show. But yeah, man, I guess I'm all right. We talked a little bit before hopping on here, so you put me in a better mood. And once again, we're here to talk about another loss. Yeah.
We are here to talk about a loss, but let me preface something really quick, Joey, because this is, I think, why we've both kind of, a little deep breath. We're like Christopher Morel at the bat, right? Fun fact, I actually do this every time I take a golf shot now. Between golf shots, I will sit there, I will close my eyes, and I will do a Christopher Morel-esque deep breath with the shoulder shrug and everything. You got to do it. It resets you. It's fantastic. We did that before we got on the show because the Baltimore Orioles are a 500 ball club. Literally, we talked about it before the show. They're fifth place in the AL East. In almost every other division in baseball, except for I think one, they're at least third place record-wise, if you compare them. They have a good little team. It just so happens they play in the toughest fucking division in baseball, in the AL East, where you have the New York Yankees, who are just running away with the MLB right now, and then you have the Tampa Bay Rays, who always stay relevant for some reason, the Toronto Blue Jays, who I think a lot of people pegged as World Series favorites before the season started. And you have the Boston Red Sox, who still are somehow having an okay year, despite kind of a rough start. So shit happens. But nonetheless, as you can see in our comments, or not our comment here, sorry, our ticker, it's Run and Hide. It's the Revenge of the O's. Brandon Hyde, manager of the Baltimore Orioles. They've at least guaranteed a split on the season series with the Cubs now. They have 2 games left, one tomorrow, and then the makeup game because of the rain out back in Baltimore later this season. So Baltimore has at least split with the Cubs for the year. It sucks. It is what it is, but a 4-2 loss, as you mentioned, Joey, tonight. Lyles with the win. And I think that's a good place to start really quick because we want to make people laugh, Joey, right?
Oh, man. Don't do this to me.
Oh, but I feel like I have to. But I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
No, do it. Absolutely do it.
Because on Sunday's show, for those that listen routinely, you will probably remember this. Or if you don't, go back and listen to it. It's in the very end of the show when we talk the preview for this series. Joey brought up good stats. We like stats. I love stats. I'm a numbers nerd. I'm an accountant by trade. So, I love numbers. And Joey told us that Lyles has a damn near 6 ERA on the road this season. It's a factual statement. It is what it is, right? But sometimes when you speak shit like that into existence, it bites you in the ass. And Jordan Lyles looked really fucking good tonight. And every single time he got through an inning, I literally had the thought to myself of, son of a bitch, Joey, you jinxed it because you brought it up. But Jordan Lyles, good tonight, pitched really well, and then the bullpen shut it down. You tweeted it yourself during the game, Joey. Baltimore's bullpen is really good, and just nobody talks about them because they're the Baltimore Orioles. But, again, a good baseball team that the Cubs let back into it after getting a lead. And then, I don't want to say they shit the bed, but you still kind of piss away a loss nonetheless. To a team that you had on the ropes early. So initial thoughts, my friend. Let some of that anger out. Let's vent here in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah, it's a rough one because I was near the end of that game, I'm like, let's just get this fucking over with, please. It's 4-2 and it felt like it was 9-2 towards the end of the game. And I know they still were within striking distance. They still had a shot at the end of the game, but it was like, this just feels over with. Swarmer, please just throw a strike. And that a lot of that's my frustrations building up at this point, and also throwing out numbers like that and then getting slapped in the face, like you said, speaking it into existence, or the opposite happens. I also said, and I also bet Adrian Sampson over 3.5 strikeouts. He did have a solid outing, but guess how many strikeouts he had?
Joey, if I had a guess, he had 3.
You're right. 3 strikeouts tonight after having 4+ strikeouts in each outing where he threw 50+ pitches this season with the Cubs. And he was facing the team that had the 4th highest strikeout rate in the league coming into tonight in the Baltimore Orioles, which, yes, they are a better team. 9 straight, winners of 9 straight now. And they are playing in the only division now that has every team at least 500. In the AL East. Like you mentioned, that AL East is just insanely good, and it's a shame that if they were in the AL Central or something, they're probably winning the division. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
At this point. But, man, oh, man, I was like the exact opposite of what I said was going to happen or thought was going to happen tonight. Everything else happened. I lost every single one of my bets for this Cubs game, and I placed like 5. The Cubs money line, the Cubs first 5, the strikeouts, the over 2.5 team total in the first 5 innings, like everything I thought would happen in this game. Shame on me for thinking it was going to happen because it's the fucking Cubs and I need to stop and I have a problem. Maybe I should call the number as Beat On says all the time on Bears on Tap. But Ron, I don't know, man. Ian Happ hit a home run tonight. Scott from Iowa, Scott Crawford said he's done with the moral victories. Or he's sick of moral victories, and I agree. Like that's what he says here. I'm sick of them too. Like I'm trying to find a reason to get up and do these shows as we try to do them so often, and it's very, very hard. Like towards the end of these games, you just want to turn the game off. You want to drink an ice cold beer, maybe whatever else you like to indulge in, and hit the sack. Or do something productive, or literally anything else, Ron. And sometimes, like guys like us, we are just insane. We are nuts for doing this. And I don't know. I hope somebody appreciates it.
I'll tell you what, Joey. We are suckers for some Cubs baseball. I will say though, we at least will have some exciting stuff because this prompted this thought. Our friend Scott from Iowa here, Scott Crawford, in the comments says, "Release the sour juice." And we met sour juice for the first time, really all season, on Sunday's show. Epic alter ego of our boy Juice. I've been told by our owner and great friend of ours, Mr. Tony Marchese, that we need to release the Jungle Juice persona as well at some point, and that's going to be Juice on a Friday night. Hopefully at a South Bend Cubs game. Hopefully at a South Bend Cubs game, because for those that don't know, our friend Juice lives over the border in the next great state of Indiana, and he may or may not be living very close to Four Winds Field later this season. So a little sneak tease here, because we like to have fun at Cubs on Tap. Like you said, Joey, like we're suckers for Cubs baseball. We're suckers for this organization as a whole. And we want to talk about wins. And when we're not talking about wins, we get sad. We get upset. We vent here on Cubs on Tap. But we will probably have some good times to talk about when we do have, hopefully, a little South Bend Cubs weekend coming up here in the next month or so.
That's like the only thing to look forward to right now, Ron. Like, look what happened tonight at South Bend. Owen Casey hit another bomb. He hit a grand slam walk-off home run the other day right before his 20th birthday. And now he hits another one, a low and in breaking ball. It looks like he's just going to crush all those pitches that he sees, the low and in breaking balls. And then, what was it, 3 pitches into the game, PCA hit a leadoff home run at South Bend as well. There's some nice things. Jordan Wicks, career high in strikeouts tonight, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Like, that's Jordan Wicks was like, if we are going to not have the sour juice, like this would be the happy juice, but I'm trying to fuel it because this is the only thing keeping me at bay right now. And because there's nothing right now to be super excited about. Even when Nico Horner hits the ball semi-decently, it's right at a glove, and it's a double play at third base. Like, we have to be kind of somewhat, what can we get up for? I want to get up for something at this point. That's it. I just want to get up for something, so I'm looking at South Bend, and we can hopefully visit Juice, and that's about it, man. I don't know what else to say. This team, it sucks when we have to do these games all the time. And when you know they're going to lose, when you go into it, I mean, I actually thought they were going to win tonight, but nonetheless, I don't know why I trick myself. I don't know why I do it to myself.
We do it to ourselves all the time, Joey. And I'll be honest with you, it looked okay going into tonight, truthfully, because the Cubs as a team only struck out 6 times. I think what really killed them was Baltimore got 5 walks as a team. The Cubs only got 1. So again, that lack of base runners, and it really that's the only time Sampson got beat up was because he let free base runners on tonight. Otherwise, he pitched a pretty good game. Like I know he gets credited with the loss. It's his first decision of the season. He has a beautiful and epic tree ERA on the season now because of tonight's game. A little excitement and appreciation for those that are Blackhawks fans out there for the great Pat Foley. But I'll tell you what, man, like it's just like you said, it's frustrating, especially when it feels like they're in games. Like they have a chance. It's not for a lack of like opportunity. It's just the talent is still developing there. And that's why we do focus. And this is why, we've had people on this show before in the comments say like, oh, I don't watch the Cubs to watch, I don't watch minor league. And it's like, yeah, but these are the guys that are going to come up that are probably going to be part of like the next great Cubs team or the next competitive Cubs team at the very minimum. Like it's okay to enjoy that while still enjoying pieces on this roster. You mentioned Ian Happ going yard tonight. Ian Happ's an all-star. Hey, now you're an all-star. And he got his game on tonight by pumping that ball into right field. Like,
nice little Smash Mouth reference right there. I like it, Ron.
Yeah. Hey, but he's, you got that. You've got PJ Higgins having a good year. You've got Nelson Velasquez, who's fun to watch. Nico Horner's been fantastic. Again, we talked about the comparison to another shortstop in Chicago on Sunday's show. Numbers very similar, and the other one's an all-star starter in the AL, and Nico is kind of being slept on, I think, by a lot of league. There's talent here, right? Seiya is getting back into a groove now. It seems like he had a hit tonight. It's feeling good, but it's just be patient. And, again, tonight's game, honestly, Joey, I don't know how you feel. I do want to hear kind of some of your thoughts on this, but like the Cubs didn't really play a terrible baseball game. They just it's the Orioles got the opportune hits when they needed them, and they took advantage of free base runners via the walk. And that's the part that sucks. Is it's like the Cubs didn't play that bad of a game tonight. They just truly got beat by again, this feels weird for us to say as baseball fans that the Baltimore Orioles are somewhat competitive again, but they are. They're a better team than a lot of people expect. It's no longer the Orioles are on the schedule. This is an easy win. It's no, the Orioles are on their schedule, and they're actually a good baseball team again.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what kind of brought me back down to earth, especially before we hopped on here, because it's like, yeah, they're a good, solid team. They have a top 5 bullpen. Like once you weren't getting to Jordan Lyles, you weren't getting to the rest of the team. You kind of knew that was coming. You mentioned the base runners. Like, I guess the only reason why I was so frustrated, and they have so many underrated players on that team, like, and young and up and coming players like Adley Rutschman, and look at the season that some of these other guys are having. Jorge Mateo hit that bomb tonight. I mean, he's got a ton of stolen bases this year. Cedric Mullins. I mean, I love what he's been doing.
22 to be exact for Mateo, and 18 for Mullins after tonight's game.
Yeah, man, and it's like, okay, it's just frustrating because the 6th inning. You worked, put all that effort in. You worked it. You had runners at the corners, I believe, at the time with 1 out. Mm-hmm. Nico hits into the double play. Not his fault. Hit it on a line, just right at the third baseman.
Hit it hard. Just right at a guy.
And then, and it's a double play because Seiya's in no man's land at that point. But then what happens the next inning? Very first pitch, Brandon Hughes throws. Jorge Mateo launches it to left field. And it's like, that's just kind of where the Cubs are right now. It just feels like that's how the season should end. Like, if I'm being honest, like not right now. I don't want it to end. I still want to watch more baseball, but that's how I feel like the season should end for the Cubs, at least at the big league level, is like some dumb fucking shit like that. Some dumb double play line drive right out of glove and then a home run by the other team. And that's just what it feels like this year. And I've been the guy, I feel like, for the most part all season, super excited about the future and kind of turning the page on the old chapter, like we talk about here all the time, and just looking forward to the future. But then there's nights like this where it's like, that's within striking distance. We've been seeing it a lot lately, especially. And it's nice when you get the results at times, especially for the team with young talent like this. They want to see some results too. Like Nico Horner deserves to see some wins under his belt. Like for playing as well as he's played in this first half and not getting an all-star bid. You know what I mean? Not making the all-star team. Ian Happ, you talked about how fans don't really want to watch the minor leagues. We saw a great thread on Twitter tonight from a woman who, her kid, they were watching Ian Happ even at AAA, like went and watched him when he was sent back down to AAA. And it's like, look where Ian Happ is now. And she mentioned it, like, we're so proud that he's an all-star. That's why you're watching the minor league guys, because potentially they could be where Ian Happ is now, making an all-star team and contributing to a winning ball club, which the Cubs don't have right now. And it's sad, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I'm just looking forward. I want to fast forward a little bit. I wish we could just fast forward to the trade deadline, even though I want to enjoy as many Wilson Contreras at-bats as we possibly can before he's seemingly shipped, at least, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I want to fast forward to free agency. Like, I'm really, really eager. I've reached the point where I just get it over with. Just go. Just fast forward to that point. Show me every Wilson Contreras at-bat from here until he's not a Cub. Then the second half, show me every at-bat of the guys that matter and show me free agency. You know what I mean? I'm at the big league level. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, and I think, Joey, to your point, it's just the desire for this team to be competitive. And I think that's where all the Cubs fans are. And I think that's why the displeasure has been so vocal over the last season and a half, effectively. More so, if you really look back, you date back pretty much since they haven't been free agent contenders in 2019, 2020, 2021. People were like, hey, what the hell? And then they, inevitably got to this point. And everybody's like, okay, this is bullshit. But I'm right there with you, man. And it's just that patience hopefully pays off, right? Like, if this team is just as fun to watch as some of these minor league clubs have been so far, South Bend, Iowa, AA Tennessee, even Myrtle Beach, like Kevin Alcantara had a highlight reel catch tonight in Myrtle Beach. Like, there's guys coming. They're going to be exciting. They're going to be fun. It is going to suck for a little bit, right? And it's just one of those things where you hope the patience pays off. But Joey, a couple of quick comments here too from Scott again. Dixon Machado, a name that a lot of people don't talk about. He was 3 for 4 tonight with 2 doubles, 4 ribbies. Frank homered in his first, or not his first rehab game. He started on Friday, but Frank's down in AAA getting some rehab work in. He got
he'll be back soon.
He'll be back soon. And then Scott asks, and I think this is a good way to sum tonight's game up, Joey, because like you said, tonight's game is one of those games that makes you want to fast forward, right? Like it's frustrating, it's irritating. It's a team they could have beat again. It's the Dodgers series personified just at Wrigley Field on a Tuesday. But when we're talking about some of these young guns, this is a fun topic to kind of steer the conversation to here before we look ahead. Which team is more exciting, Iowa or South Bend? And I will open the floor to you first, my friend. Who do you have?
To me, it's South Bend. Like, I really, really like what's in South Bend right now. And it's nothing against what's in Iowa. There's some great players in Iowa. Some guys that you could say are probably like quad A guys in Iowa still, that when they get the call up, like, I don't really see Dixon Machado doing much at the big league level. Like, great game tonight, by the way, but I don't really see him doing much at the big league level. Maybe a contributor, but not like, major impact. The major impact guys to me are still at that high A level or double A level. There are some guys like Jared Young I'd like to see, though. Some potential there at AAA. Obviously, Caleb Killian. There's guys there. It's just even Clint Frazier. Like, I would really like Clint Frazier, Jackson Frazier, whatever.
Jackson Frazier.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. That correction's coming because I still haven't gotten used to it, but
I still haven't either. I don't think anybody has. Like, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, but the high A guys, man, like, just tonight alone is like enough to just get you ready to run through a wall. Like the Jordan Wicks game, the Owen Casey, the PCAs, you could go on and on, honestly. A couple other guys that had really good games tonight too. But that's the type of team that. And Myrtle Beach, the Pelicans are hot too. I know that's like further away, but it gets you excited for what's to come. Like PCA just moved up to what was it, first of amongst Cubs prospects in Bleacher America's rankings,
Yes.
basically in their overall rankings. But I think they probably have updated the Cubs team rankings now. But he's ahead of Brent Davis.
Yeah, Baseball America, they updated the top 100. They haven't updated the team rankings yet, but in the top 100, PCA is the highest ranked Cubs prospect in the top 100, ahead of Brennan Davis now.
And dude, that swing that you saw from him like tonight, and
it's
so sweet. It's so sweet when he hits it. When he actually is connecting now that the power's kind of coming along really nicely, he's standing and watching it. Like, did we even think that we'd be getting to that point with PCA? Because not to say I didn't think so, but like,
yeah,
he wasn't known as like this power hitter. He now he's hitting it and just watching it. Like,
hey, and kudos to the Cubs front office for seeing that potential in a kid that literally only played like 6 minor league games before getting hurt.
Absolutely,
they really did their homework and they were like, "Hey, this is a kid that we trust." Because again, that was essentially a 2-for-1 trade where the Cubs gave up more to get PCA as a top prospect than the Mets got in return. Because yes, it was essentially it was Javi for PCA, but a lot of people forget Trevor Williams got thrown in. But still, they threw in an extra body essentially to be like, "Hey, yeah, we want PCA." Now we're starting to see why. I agree with you, Joey. I think South Bend also is the case. I think AAA would be a little more exciting if Brennan Davis was healthy right now. I think it will be exciting again once he's back and healthy. Supposedly we're going to see him, right? It might not be for a lot of time this season, but we're going to see him a little bit before the season ends. So I think when that time comes back, the excitement will be there because we want to see how Brennan rebounds from his surgery and things like that he's had for his back. But absolutely agree with you. Like South Bend is right now, like probably South Bend, Myrtle Beach is like where the fun is at, right? Like Myrtle Beach, it's Kevin Alcantara, it's James Triantos, it's those guys.
Oh, Triantos, dude. I love Triantos. Like,
I know.
He's probably not, and he's not the top prospect, obviously, in this system, and he's not even in the top 100. That's why I love this system so much. Like, you have guys like Triantos and Caleb Killian, who I think Killian was left off the top 100 too this last time go around, right?
No, he's still there, but he's later in the top 100.
Was he? Because okay, maybe I was wrong. Alcantara just made it though. He just
okay. Well, so it depends who you're asking because Baseball America says Killian's number 4. MLB.
Oh, I was thinking MLB now that I changed.
They say that Kevin Alcantara is number 4 and Killian's 5. So it just depends who you're looking at. But yes, essentially you're correct.
Okay, yeah. But it's just like, okay, if they were doing a 150 rankings on MLB Pipeline.
Oh, the Cubs have like 8 guys in the 150.
Like, where are they falling? Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. Like, it's pretty remarkable. And I mean, I know everybody likes to judge a system by how many top 100 prospects they have or whatever. Mm-hmm. To me, that's not really how you should be judging a system at all. If you have so much depth, like who's to say a number 123 prospect won't be better than a 50 ranked prospect in half a season from now because of the developments and the potential that they have. Like, that's just how things work a lot of times. So, and we've seen it even this year with the development of PCA and the development of Alcantara, So I guess, I'm real excited about what's happening down there. And it sucks that we can't even really talk too much about what's happening at the big league level. I guess one guy that I do want to talk about tonight is Michael Gibbons, who hasn't allowed a run in his last 10 outings now. And I'm looking at, that's pretty damn good. He really turned the corner here. A team like the Giants, a team like the Toronto Blue Jays, teams that are in the hunt, that's still fighting for wild cards at least, those teams do not have that great of bullpens, at least by the numbers. If you look at ERA and even for the Giants, like K- walk rate is absolutely terrible this season.
Yeah.
They need another arm. I mean, just about every contender could use another arm in the bullpen. Michael Gibbons seems like he's going to be another guy that the Cubs are going to be able to flip here and turn him into something, and more depth, more depth
Mhm.
in the minor league system, and I don't know. I hate that I have to be the guy that's super excited, or we have to be the guys that are super excited about the minor league system. But I can't be. I can't let this anger continue. Like it's, I can only be mad for so long at the major league team before I'm just like, what can I be positive about? That's just the way I'm wired. Like,
Yeah.
how can I turn this into a not just a positive, but where are the positives? And
Right.
like, because they're gonna know, Jed's gonna know, Carter Hawkins is gonna know who they need to get rid of
Mm-hmm.
as these guys come through. And hopefully they're just right about the guys that they end up trading away, because they're not going to keep all these prospects either. Like
No.
these will eventually turn into major league talent that they trade away for, even though you want to keep it as deep as you can. But when you're ready to contend after making some more signings,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see who the guys are also going to go and who they're going to be flipped for. So it's real interesting to think about, even though that's a long ways away.
Yeah, 100%, man. And just to quickly add about the conversation that we were just having and the questions with Scott. I think too with South Bend, it's just a lot of the guys that people have pegged as part of that like next great team are there right now, right? Like the Jordan Wickses of the world, the PCAs of the world, the Owen Casey's potentially of the world. Before he got hurt, the Ed Howards of the world. Like there's a lot of guys
Yeah.
that are at South Bend right now that could have major impacts on this team, and I think that's why they're more fun. But yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Like it's okay to be excited about the minors when there's nothing, and not to say there's nothing
Yeah,
totally at
I
the
I
major
didn't mean it
level.
to put it like that.
But no, but absolutely agree, right? Like on nights when they lose, like the way they did tonight, where nobody had like a big offensive performance or nobody, dominated pitching wise, like it's really easy to be like, fuck, and just you want to look at the minor league level. So I totally agree with you. But my friend, I think we have talked out our feelings, and it's a good time to put this game in the rear view. 4-2 is the loss. Cubs are back at it tomorrow with this Orioles team, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But do you have a quick thought before we go ahead and look forward?
Oh man, don't waste games that Pat Hughes is on the national or on the
Fact.
broadcast, the marquee
Yes.
broadcast. Don't waste those fucking games. That's what makes me so mad about tonight. That's what made me more mad than anything is I'm listening to the legendary voice of Pat Hughes on the TV broadcast, and we're watching this team blow it, and we're watching this team lose a game. And I actually talked myself into it, Ron, right before we got on here, and I said, because I sent you a message. I said I'm ready to go pretty much whenever. Like
Yeah.
we can roll as soon as the third out is or before. I don't even care. But I talked myself into it as we were taking a little bit of time. Them having some legendary moment at the end of the game because Pat Hughes was on the broadcast.
Always.
Did it happen? No, but don't waste these games. Like I don't know. That's the Cub fan in me, but I just
Absolutely, man. And don't waste these games because Scott asks who the starters are in Wrigley post trade deadline. The same guys you see now. I don't think anybody has accumulated enough worth in the starting rotation to be dealt at this deadline. Maybe Wade Miley.
Was he talking starters or was he talking starting lineup?
Good question. Scott, we will refer back to your question in a little bit because we need a little clarification. Are we talking starting rotation or are we talking starting lineup? But nonetheless, in the meantime, we will look ahead and we'll save that juicy little quick fact from each of us here for the end of the show. But we will look ahead because the Cubs and Orioles are back in action on Wednesday, July 13th at beautiful Wrigley Field. It's a 7:05 Central Daylight Time start, 8:05 for our friends like our boy Deuce in the Eastern Time Zone. 98 Rock FM, WBAL News Radio AM FM is where you can find it if you're listening in the Baltimore market. If you're watching, it is the Maryland Area Sports Network, or Masson, is where you can watch that game in Baltimore. Cubs, 670 The Score, WRTO 1200, and Marquee Sports Network is where you can catch this one tomorrow. It will be the right-hander number 80. Great, ridiculous number for a pitcher. Spencer Watkins, he's 2-1 on the season with a 4.15 ERA and 26 Ks. Joey and I looked at his numbers. He's been pretty good lately. He's been pretty good lately. So this is a little
We're not going to jinx it.
Yeah, we're not going to jinx it, but he's been pretty good lately. But on the other side, it is Mr. Dad Strength and friend of the program himself, Justin Steele. Congratulations, my friend, to you and Libby for your firstborn son. We hope we're happy to hear that it doesn't sound like anything went bad. It sounds like baby and mama are both healthy as well, which we'd like to hear. So congratulations to the Steele family, in a sense, obviously Justin and Libby for the birth of their first child. But he's back. He's on the mound. He's going to have that dad strength. He's got that motivation. He's got that will. It feels like a game to like go a complete game, 9 innings because like your son was just born. Like we're talking some movie shit here for tomorrow. But Joey, I'll turn it back over to you, my friend. A preview for tomorrow's game and a series concluder that it is with the Orioles on Wednesday night before they welcome the New York Mets, the disgusting Mets, to town on Thursday. But in the meantime, your thoughts, my friend, tomorrow's game. I think you muted your microphone, Joey. Oh no, are we having technical difficulties? I certainly hope we are not having technical difficulties. We might be having technical difficulties. So I will go ahead quickly and share my thoughts, Joey, while you're hopefully working through some issues here. But yeah, man, I just want the Cubs to win. I think Joey's in agreement with that. We've been sitting here like, give us something to talk about tomorrow. Let's talk about Seiya having a good game. Let's talk about Justin Steele just fucking shoving it down the Orioles' throat. Let's talk about something good in a hopeful Cubs victory here, as we'd love to see at least just a split for this series before they welcome the Mets to town this coming weekend. Scott did say lineup, Joey, so I think we might pocket this one just so we can both answer. I know you're having some technical difficulties over there. And he says, doubt the starting pitchers go anywhere because they're all hurt. I think we both agree on that. So, Joey, unfortunate, buddy, but we will get your thoughts. We'll share them out somehow, some way, maybe via Twitter tomorrow on the game. But I do want to remind everybody before we get out of here, Cubs on Tap, the official Cubs podcast of the On Tap Sports Network. You can check out all of our great work over at www.ontapsportsnet.com and at On Tap Sportsnet. On socials, you can find myself. I am at Loose on Tap on the Bluebird app. You can also follow the pod-specific account at Cubbies on Tap. That's CUBBIES on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can follow all of our other great contributors at Joey Knows Nothing, at Juice on Tap, at Teddy Freddy 270, at Brandon M. Kane, and all of the other great people here who do good work for us at Cubs on Tap. Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, you know the drill. We got the deal. And Cubs fans, we all have friends that like the Southsiders. Don't ask me why. You can send them over to our boys at Sox on Tap. OnTapSportsNet.com, at OnTapSportsNet on social media, On Tap Sports Network. Go ahead and check out what's on tap in Chicago sports. Joey, now that we have you back, my friend, I want your thoughts for tomorrow's game. And then we will actually get to Scott's question here to kind of close down the show with starting lineup after the deadline. But, sir, the floor is yours.
Right. Can you hear me?
I can. You sound fantastic.
Great. I have no idea what that was, but we always have some technical difficulties every once in a while. So hey, but yeah, man. Justin Steele, you mentioned the dad energy, this dad strength. That's a real thing. I've seen it. I'm just looking for him to maybe throw it like top out velocity wise, like his highest velocity that he's thrown. Yeah, in a
triple
game.
Digit shit. Yeah.
Like, let's see that. Like, just blowing it past Orioles would be incredible. You mentioned how Watkins, we talked about how he's been really good his last 3 outings, like an ERA barely over 1. I'm going to do the reverse jinx on this side of things tonight. He's been really good lately, so that means that possibly, you know what that means. I'm not going to say it. Maybe the tide changes. I can speak that into existence potentially. But, yeah, man, Scott with the lineup. So he said who's going to be here after the trade deadline, right? Who's going to be in the starting lineup?
Correct.
Well, I guess because I'm assuming that Willie's gone, so I would say that Higgins, Yan Gomes behind the plate. Like, you can kind of alternate those two guys. I don't think Schwindel's getting moved because he's been hurt. Like even if he was going to get moved, he's on a controllable contract as well. So I'm going to say Schwindel and Rivas at first, alternating lefty righty. Madrigal, if he can get freaking healthy, he'll be at second. Bodie as well. Horner obviously at short. He's not going anywhere. Wisdom is interesting. I think there's a chance that he gets traded, but like you also want him to get kind of hot here before the trade deadline, so you can kind of showcase him a little bit and see what he can do. And then if he isn't here at third base, opens up some ideas. Like you could potentially move Morel to third. Good. Play some more outfielders, some guys that like you could see Narciso Crook more. You could see Frazier obviously back. I think he's going to be
Nelly
V. I want to see Nelly V. Maybe he could play some more center. Or Happ. Throw Happ back in center. I think I really liked him though in left field this year. I think he's in left field. I don't think he's getting traded this deadline, but I know there's people that they're talking about it. Like it's getting floated out there. I don't see Happ getting traded this deadline. Him in left. I'll say alternative of Morel in center, potentially with, Velasquez and I don't know. I can't think right now. It's late. Right field, Seiya. Like lock it in. DH you can kind of mix and match however you want. I don't think Ortega's here either at the deadline. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, I'm actually right in line with you. I think we might get a chance to see some of these guys like Jared Young and some of these guys at AAA. I think that's going to be very apparent, especially in your injuries are going to continue. Like, I know we don't see it right now, but somebody's going to get hurt or somebody's going to get nicked up. Madrigal's a perfect example of it, right? He goes on his rehab stint and has something happen, has to go get checked out again. So, like, these injuries are going to happen. So we probably will see guys like Crook and some of these other guys in this, kind of second half stretch here once the deadline comes and goes. I hope Ian's not traded. I think Willie's also gone. I think there's a chance they're both gone. Who knows? But I agree. I think we'll see a lot of Nelly V. I think we'll see a lot of Christopher Morel maybe playing more infield if moves happen. David Bodie, I want to remind everybody, he's hitting like 280 and he has an OPS of like 858 right now. He's actually been pretty okay. He's just been kind of flying under the radar a little bit so far. Hopefully he can just continue to provide good depth. I think David Bodie was actually kind of missed, oddly, on this team just because of the second base position with your boy, Jonathan Vieira before he got DFA'd. So, I agree with you though. I think we're probably on the same page here. Like we'll see some AAA guys come up and get their look, but overall it's going to be pretty spot on with what you said there, Joey. So I am in total agreement. But my friend, it's always a pleasure. It's a good show. Sucks the Cubs lost 4-2, but they have a chance with Justin Steele, friend of the program, back on the bump tomorrow to get a W and take hopefully some momentum into that Thursday series starting on Thursday, with the New York Mets, the 4-game set at Wrigley this weekend. Probably a little precursor here for our listeners. We'll remind everybody tomorrow when we know for sure. Good chance there might not be a Thursday show this week, but there will be a Friday show for sure. And then we'll have at least one weekend show, if not two, on Saturday and Sunday. So just be on the alert for that in case you're looking for us, whether it's on YouTube where you can listen and follow along and comment along as our friend Scott did tonight, or on Twitter and Facebook. Facebook, you can comment. Twitter, whatever reason they decided to change shit and we can't see your comments now. So if you want to join the conversation, be sure to follow along with us at Facebook or YouTube when we go live. Joey, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Losses suck, but we live to see another day tomorrow. We'll look forward to our South Bend trip at some point this season. And what do you say, my friend? We get out of here the only way we know at Cubs on Tap.
Yeah, this team sucks, but fuck the Cardinals. Let's go Cubbies.
And let's go Cubbies.